got lots of UFO news to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, check out this plasma plume solar ejection coming off the sun. Isn't that insane? That is crazy. Wow. Yeah. Look at that. Okay, wait for it. Wait for it. Man, wow. That is nuts, guys. That is nuts. Footage of plasma ejecting from the sun in November. Wow. Wow. Meanwhile, this is a really cool footage here. Don't worry, there is plenty of UFO news to talk about, but I thought this was pretty amazing. People in the southwest U.S. are seeing this thing, or we're seeing this thing. I guess this is a meteor breakup, but I mean, it looks like a meteor breakup, but it turns out that it's actually not a meteor, but possibly a Starlink satellite breaking up as it re-entered Earth's atmosphere, creating a spectacular display across parts of Oklahoma and other places. So check out that crazy solar action from possibly a satellite breaking up. Wow. Okay, on to the UFO news. There is an amazing, this is gangbusters, guys. This is incredible. There is a remote viewing from Daz Smith and his team of remote viewers on the alien interview video. Richard Dolan was a guest on that panel, and he came away from their information saying that he was now a believer in the alien interview video. He had been talking to John previously and had been very impressed by Jon Stewart's research on the alien interview video and was already fairly well persuaded or open-minded to the alien interview video. But the remote viewing led by Daz Smith convinced Richard Dolan that indeed we are looking at a legit alien or non-human in that incredible video. And I will be talking more with Daz Smith about that. I'm hoping to interview him tomorrow, and hope to have that interview up very soon. So hopefully that'll happen. But yeah, it looks like this being right here was a living being held in captivity at Area 51. Just incredible stuff. This is a stabilized version of the original video, stabilizing his head so that you can see the micro movements of his face. It's a haunting video, especially if this is a real being, which I believe it to be, because it goes into distress. And apparently it dies very soon after this video was taken. Very sad, very haunting, but incredible footage of an actual alien that I am convinced is legitimate footage of a non-human. So hats off to Jon Stewart on his amazing research. Hats off to Daz Smith and his incredible team of remote viewers who were able to corroborate that this being was a living being that came from a UFO crash retrieval. They were getting lots of details about the military and the crash retrieval and about some information about the being itself. But yeah, according to Daz Smith's team who were reviewing this interview, this is a living being, or was a living being. We are looking at a genuine alien here, guys. Just incredible, although heartbreaking. They said it was mission oriented. So, it and its crew were about some mission when their ship, crashed, and it was, taken into custody by the U.S. military. Look at this. This is hard to watch, guys. It's hard to watch. I'm going to stop it here, but I will link to this, and you can watch it at your leisure. But again, hats off to Jon Stewart for his incredible research in Dad Smith and his team. But yeah, let me know if you are convinced by that incredible remote viewing. Of course, it would help if you watched it. So I will link to it. You can watch the full remote viewing at your leisure along with this video right here. And if you're not familiar with this case, I highly recommend you checking out the interview I did with Jon Stewart, where he went over a lot of his research about this alien interview. So yeah, go check that out, guys. Meanwhile, in a more dynamite UFO news, if we can call it news, there's this incredible article by Chris Sharp from Liberation Times. With a potentially explosive UAP hearing set to take place in the House of Representatives next week, sources connected with the intelligence community and Department of Defense have disclosed new and controversial details to Liberation Times. These sources allege that retrieval missions and covert legacy operations stretching back as far as World War II were reportedly conducted by the CIA in collaboration with key elements of the U.S. defense establishment. The sources, who spoke under strict conditions of anonymity, I can't say the word, but you know what I'm saying, describe a shadowy history of missions dedicated to recovering exotic materials of non-human origin under the utmost secrecy. The revelations are expected to add weight to an already intense debate over U.S. government transparency regarding UAP, as officials in the public grapple with the implications of alleged long-standing retrieval missions. Liberation Times spoke with sources who stated that retrieval missions involving materials of non-human origin are hidden within legitimate retrieval programs. Liberation Times has previously reported details of alleged undersea UAP retrieval missions, and I've gone over that before. And again, great reporting by Chris Sharp. Among those allegedly involved are the Maritime Branch of the CIA's Directorate of Operations, the U.S. Navy, the National Underwater Reconnaissance Office, jointly operated by the Navy and the CIA, and the U.S. Special Operations Command. It is further understood that the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute has provided deep submergent vehicles to support these retrieval efforts. Once recovered from undersea, these craft are allegedly transferred to the Office of Naval Research. From there, they are handed over to defense contractors for detailed analysis. An intelligence community source informed Liberation Times that UAP missions on foreign soil have not typically involved the CIA's Office of Global Access, as these operations generally fall outside its primary scope. However, the source explained that joint efforts between the U.S. and allied governments have sometimes led to collaborative recoveries, such as the reported incident in Virginia, Brazil. Well, they seem to get these UFOs and these beings from all over the world. So clearly, more is going on than, might be revealed here. Maybe it's not the CIA doing it, but somebody is doing it on behalf of the UFO control group. So yeah, that's very interesting, but obviously there's many organizations involved in this, and even at the Office of Global Access, now known as the Transnational Technology Mission Center, is not involved in these crash retrievals. They are getting retrieved. Now, that said, I'm sure other countries are retrieving these things as well. Ross Coulthart had a really interesting experience or event that he related, actually two events, where an Australian recovery team went to the United States to retrieve a downed UFO, where on another occasion a US-based UFO retrieval team went to Australia to recover a UFO. I'm not sure how that makes sense, but that is from the reporting of Ross Coulthart, so the Virginia case, often dubbed Brazil's Roswell, revolves around reports of UAP debris, along with multiple accounts of sightings of non-human entities in 1996. Eyewitnesses describe both local authorities and what appeared to be U.S. personnel on site, securing materials, and conducting operations. This event has since sparked widespread speculation about international collaboration in UAP retrieval missions. But it goes much further than that, guys. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Go check out the video that I made on the Maje, Brazil case. A crazy case where there is some sort of battle with a UFO over a munitions facility in Maje, Brazil, and then the UFO control group, hit squad, or their elite commando unit, super soldiers, whatever they were hunting down the survivors of the downed UFOs in the jungle. Crazy, crazy stuff. There's video of this UFO battle. It was being suppressed harshly online. To date, my video on it might be the only one left around. I don't know. But yeah, it's crazy, crazy stuff. So yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There is much more going on here. Another source revealed to Liberation Times that following the collapse of the Soviet Union, the U.S. and Russia cooperated on at least one undersea mission to retrieve a craft of alleged non-human origin that had crashed in Russian waters. The source also told Liberation Times about the process of transferring materials to defense contractors. Okay, that sounds interesting. In terms of materials recovered, I know of one occasion whereby a designated individual within the CIA's Directorate of Operations collaborated with other agencies to decide which contractor to engage for analysis and exploitation. Such a decision depends on the circumstances. For instance, if the object is submerged and capable of undersea propulsion, it would be prudent to perhaps involve General Dynamics. However, if it crashed into the sea from beyond Earth's orbit, other contractors would be considered. It goes on into some incredible detail, and I highly recommend you checking out the full article. Again, I will link to it below. Meanwhile, John Brandenburg is talking about Nordics. John Brandenburg is a plasma physicist, fusion energy, and advanced space propulsion expert and author. Dear friends, he says, consistent with many reports, I was told in a secure facility. I find that interesting. Is that a skiff? I don't know what a secure facility is in this context. By a person I trust, he says, that very human aliens are here on Earth, Pleiadians, and that this was of concern because they could not be differentiated from Terrans, us. They are reportedly friendly to Terrans. Interesting. Dear Lulu and friends, I know very little for certain about the Pleiadians, but here are my impressions. We resemble them because humans are seated across the stars. They predate us. They are helping us as our kindred. We have healthy children together. They often have blonde hair and blue eyes, although I have heard of actually different ethnic groups as part of the Nordics, which is interesting. The Nordics are fascinating. All the aliens are fascinating, but Nordics are very often encountered and seen. Sometimes they are working in coordination with the Greys. Sometimes they are not. People might think it's silly to talk about Nordics, but there are human-looking aliens and that they are often encountered. So, understanding these guys are good. Meanwhile, a correction from the video I made about the Nazca mummy hearing in the Peruvian Congress. This gentleman is not the president of Peru. He is the president of the House Oversight Committee on Peruvian Culture or something like that. And he is the Speaker of the House of the Peruvian Parliament. So a bigwig in Peruvian, politics, but not the president. And thank you to those guys that were pointing that out. I appreciate the correction. Meanwhile, we have another meteor entering Earth's atmosphere in Norway above the Arctic Ocean, traveling at 15 kilometers a second. That's pretty fast, guys. All right, let's check out this cool meteor. That's pretty groovy, right? I mean, it's just a meteor. It's not a UFO, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But if you want to see a cool UFO, now we got the big fireworks. If you want to see a cool UFO, you have got to check out Investigation Alien on Netflix. It's George Knapp's new docuseries. I think it has 6 parts. Really amazing docuseries. With some of our favorite people like Jacques Vallée and Gary Nolan, and a list of people and names like Tim Burchett that you would recognize. Also, it was really cool. Mike Herrera was on it, right? It was so cool to see Michael Herrera talking to George Knapp. I hope there's a season 2 and that we see what comes of that. But yeah, Mike is amazing. His information is amazing. We only get kind of a teaser of Mike's information in Investigation Alien. Again, I'll refer you to another video, the interview I had with Mike, or any of the other interviews Mike has given, where he has given his information, which is just jaw-dropping stuff and a real fascinating glimpse into at least what part of the UFO control group is up to. At any rate, there is an amazing UFO video that is new, that is unique to this program, Investigation Alien, where they are going out on the water to investigate some alien or UFO activity or USO activity. And while they are doing this, a UFO comes to check them out. It's nighttime and you can see this light in the sky, and it descends at one point into the water. And I guess because of the coloration of the water or whatever, it turns green and you see this green light under the water. It's really cool. Again, brand new footage, UFO footage from the series Investigation Alien, and we wouldn't have this footage without this show. So again, I hope there's a second season. It's really amazing footage. So I want to say that's in episode 3 or thereabouts. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, a good show. Nothing extremely jaw-dropping. They talk about cattle mutilations and USOs, and nothing, again, groundbreaking, but very watchable, very bingeable. I watched it all in a couple of days. So really good stuff with a few new wrinkles and a few pieces of new information, such as that the Colares incidents might not have ended in the 70s. They seem to have continued on, possibly until the present day, but at least they continued on for a few decades, most likely, after the famous or notorious series of incidents in the 70s. But meanwhile, we have Nick Pope talking about what to expect from the hearing on Wednesday.
What are you tracking? What do you think we can expect this time?
Well, I don't think it's going to be what the UFO community refer to as disclosure. I think disclosure is a process rather than a single event. So I don't think we're going to see on Wednesday a sort of parting of the curtains, this is it, definitive explanation. What we will get, I think, is the needle moved forward again. I'm very excited about this. We've got 4 great witnesses, all of whom are going to add value. They're all slightly different in terms of their areas of expertise, but I think they'll complement each other well.
Okay, there you go. I like that. Disclosure is not an event, it's a process. I think that is all too true. Speaking of which, one of the presenters or witnesses will be Mike Gold, who is set to testify at the Congressional UFO hearing. And he is speaking here on a NASA panel. Let's give a listen, trying to feel out who this individual is and what his interests are.
Yes. So I'm not a scientist, I'm a recovering attorney, and I love process. And a few questions there. If I'm a pilot, where do I find that process for reporting UAPs? Where is that articulated or captured? Second, when you mentioned that you're reporting these incidents, who are you reporting it to? And are those incidents, pulling on the thread that Reggie started, are they being archived anywhere?
I believe they are archived. They're reported to the domestic network, event network. It's an NFA organization or function. I can't speak to whether they would be, say, part of what Sean would include as part of his database. I presume so. So I think that was the answer to the second question. What was the first question again? I'm sorry.
Where does the reporting process live? If I'm a pilot, I see a UAP, where do I go to find out?
I don't know the answer to that question. Like I said, I'm familiar with the reporting process from a controller perspective and the order that's used to define how controllers do their job. I don't know the answer to the question for a pilot.
So there you go, Mike Gold pushing for answers about how pilots report UFO sightings. I think that's really encouraging. It definitely speaks to interest on Mike Gold's part about UFOs. But I am disappointed that he doesn't seem at this moment to be a direct witness or participant in any of these clandestine programs. But maybe he secretly is. I mean, we'll find out. I'm interested in what he has to say and why he was included in that roundup. Meanwhile, Lou Elizondo has some thoughts for us. He says, friends, as many of you know by now, I have been asked to testify to Congress and the American people under oath. As the 13th of November approaches, please know I will do my best to continue our efforts to expose the truth. I want to thank the members of Congress and my fellow witnesses for their courage. On a personal note, for those who have supported me all these years, know that your voice will be heard loud and clear. Despite the noise of the naysayers, know that you are on the right side of truth and your country thanks you profoundly for your pursuit of it. So, yeah, there you go, guys. I totally support Lou, and I can't wait to see what he and the others have to say on Wednesday. Let me know what you think of that and everything else covered today in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure do appreciate it. Smash the like button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.